Good evening, everyone. I call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. on June 4th, 2026. We have a quorum present. Let's proceed. The next item on the agenda is welcoming the new school board member. Welcome Mr. Ellis Cofield III, board member at large. Roll call, Ms. Wisely.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Ms. Boone,
Present.
Ms. Bailey. Mr. Alsbrook,
Present.
Mr. Cofield,
Present.
Mr. Grant,
Present.
Mr. Holt, Ms. Parker,
Present.
Dr. Carter,
Present.
and I wanted to say that we do have attorney Mr. Daniel Masakayan online too. If we need to switch between the screens, he is present with us as well. There he is. Thank you.
Next on the agenda, 1.4, approval of the agenda.
I would like to make a counter motion to amend the agenda to include a new motion. The last school board meeting, we passed a motion to initiate an investigation. I want to enter a new motion related to that same investigation to expand the scope. I move that the Franklin City School Board direct the school board's attorney to conduct an administrative review of the division's compliance with mandatory reporting obligations under applicable law and board policy, including whether and when the division employees, administrators, or leaders had knowledge of concerns related to such obligations and what actions, if any, they took in response with authority to request cooperation from the division staff as needed to report the findings and recommendations to this school board.
Second.
With the motion and the second, any discussion?
That's the, excuse me, that's the amended, that's the motion that you want to amend to amend the agenda,
To add
correct?
for the
To
agenda.
add to the agenda.
Yes. We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Proceed with the vote. Alsbrook,
Yes.
Grant,
Yes.
Parker,
Nay.
Bailey,
Yes.
Holt. No. Cofield.
Yes.
Boone is a nay. I guess the majority wins.
Motion carried.
Motion carries. Now back to 1.4, the approval of the agenda.
I move that we approve the agenda as presented. With the amendment included.
With the motion and the second, any discussion? Alsbrook,
Yes.
Grant,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Boone, yes.
Yes.
Cofield.
Yes.
2.1, the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Tompkins.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I have the task tonight of presenting for first read a required policy under House Bill 2686 for the accelerated mathematics policy. You have, should have a copy of my presentation along with the House bill and what it requires. We are required to provide certain advanced and accelerated math courses to our students in grade 5 through 8. This is for full implementation in next year, 26-27. So those students who meet the criteria to be accelerated in an accelerated math course must be automatically enrolled in that course. And now, as I go through the presentation, you'll see some of the criteria for that. Next slide, please, Ms. Beth. So, consistent with the guidelines from the House bill, We're looking for students who are in the upper quartile of performance. And as you can see, the upper quartile for students in grades 5 through 8 are in this presentation. So students who score the previous year 466 to 600, if they are in 5th grade, they will, if they are going to 6th grade next year, they will be automatically enrolled in Math 7. If they are in 4th grade this year and going to 5th grade next year, and they meet this criteria, then they will be automatically enrolled in Math 5. So this is to give those students an opportunity to advance. However, this particular criteria, using a test-based criteria only, is not the only way that our students will advance to the next course. Next slide, please. So these are some additional measures to determine their readiness. They must have a final grade of an A or B. They must have a teacher recommendation who can attest that that student has the advanced problem solving, mathematical reasoning, and readiness for an accelerated paced course. Demonstrate motivation and willingness in this advanced coursework, and the parents have to agree. So the parents can opt out if they do not feel that their child is ready or they don't want them to participate. They want them to continue along the standard progression. Next slide, please. So here are some other pathways by which our students can be placed. So a 6th grade student can be enrolled in a 7th grade math course. They can go into either Math 7 or Math 8. Students in 7th grade, if they show that they have the mathematical ability, can go to Algebra 1. And 8th grade students could potentially move to geometry, skipping or bypassing Algebra 1. Placement decisions are going to be based on the student's readiness as well as their conceptual understanding and long-term ability for success. So students who may have the aptitude perhaps may not have the maturity to handle this kind of advanced work. So their parents will also be very involved in helping us make this decision about whether or not their student would be participating. But we will do our due diligence to ensure that parents have the option to and know what is required if their child meets the criteria. Next slide, please. And as I stated earlier, parents have the opportunity to opt out or decline that their child participate in this particular auto acceleration. Next slide. Progress monitoring. We will continue to monitor those students through assessments throughout the year. If we notice that a child is struggling, then we will reconvene along with the teacher and the parent to determine if the child should continue on along this acceleration path or if they should go back to the standard path, which is if they were in 6th grade and they were accelerated to 7th grade, then they could return to Math 6. And here's the implementation timeline. We'll begin to look at their data and eligibility based on test scores during their spring administration. So students who took an SOL this spring, we will take a look at those students' SOL scores. Then we will meet with parents during the summer, letting them know that their child is eligible and has met the preliminary criteria to participate, and then after which we will begin to implement in the 26th, 27th school year. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
So we're going by spring scores. We're going through the summer to have the parents interact. How far into the year, if the child cannot sustain that eligibility, do we bring them back?
So generally, it will be Probably within the first few months. Or if a child is consistently, if a child is taking a pretest when they enter in August, and the teacher notices that they are not, like, there's some mathematical computations and concepts that they should know that they don't know, we can be alerted immediately. So we're not going to let a child struggle for too long, but we certainly will make sure that we're monitoring those students.
So what you're saying is not by the first interim, but by the first report card?
Oh, it would definitely be before the first report card, because you will have an idea if the child is struggling way before the first. Usually within the first couple of weeks, you'll know if a child has the ability to stay at that pace, because it will be accelerated for them. They will be with students who are older than they are. So if they are not able to keep pace, or if parents feel that, hey, my kid may be great in math in 5th grade, but I don't think they're ready to interact in a 6th grade math class, they can certainly opt out. And they can opt out at any time. So let's say we did well in accelerated 6th grade, but my child's not ready for accelerated going to the 8th grade. So they can always say, hey, I want my child to go back through the standard trajectory.
So now, with that being said, they're in advanced, then they're going back. Where do they start when they go back, because the classroom is already in progress?
That is something that we'll have to really work out.
Okay.
Because this is something new, and we receive guidance on how we are to monitor and how we are to progress monitor on May 1st, 2026. So this is going to be a trial and error for everybody across the state, especially those divisions who did not have an acceleration policy already in place, like Franklin. There's some divisions who have a policy in place. We are now required by this House bill to have that policy.
Now, I understand we're required by policy, to have it in place in Franklin. What I am most worried about is placing these children in an advanced class, and some cannot hold up, not because they do not know the work, but you have some children that are smart, that do not ask the questions because of their friends being around. You have some children that are just intimidated because around them.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you take them out of that place and place them back. I need to know, where are they going back to? Because once I said that class is already in progress.
Yeah.
So do they fail behind in that? How do we keep them up? Because we can't split them between classes. I mean,
Sure.
we can.
Yeah.
But that would confuse them more. So how does that work?
So those are some things that we definitely will have to work out this summer as we're putting these systems in place. This is just our first read on what our requirement is, but in terms of all the logistics, those things still have to be worked out, because if a child goes back to a class, we certainly want to make sure that they are not, handicapped because they did not start out with their current standard class in the beginning of the year. So we have to be mindful of that, and we would have to put some systems to support those students.
So that means we're on a timeline, because this is for September.
Yes, this has to be implemented in August when we return, yes.
Just a quick, just a quick question.
Sure.
Did you say that you, and maybe I misunderstood, did you say you just found out about this initiative in May 2026?
Oh, no. The new guidance on how to implement this came out on May 1st, 2026.
Okay,
But
how-
but this bill has been in place,
Do you know how long?
probably a year.
And you're saying just the new guidelines now of actually how to implement it the way the
Yes.
state wants it to be done just
Yes.
actually came out? Okay.
Just to comment, we file our policies by letter,
Yes.
G, A, B.
Yes,
Some of them have 3 and 4 letters.
yes.
When we come back next meeting for a second reading, could someone put a code?
Yes, sir. Yes, Dr. Bowner and I have already discussed that. So she has a number ready for me for your final read.
Great,
Thank you. Any other questions?
So who's in control of this?
When you say who is in control, what do you mean?
Who is going to make sure that this is done by September? What names? Who?
Gotta
You?
be done this month, doesn't it?
That's what I mean by they're on the time frame, and I'd like to know who. Ms. Tompkins, Ms. Mita, who? I'm
So,
trying to say
so
names.
I will have to be in charge to make sure that the policy is implemented.
Right.
So I will have to work with the school principals, with parents, with Ms. Stratton to review the data, to ensure that we have, A, students who've met the criteria, and B, if those parents want their children to be involved. So just because we have the policy in place does not mean that we will have students for the 26-27 school year who meet the criteria to enter. We may not have any students who meet the criteria, or we may have one or two. So this is in place as we move forward, but it does not mean that we will have a slew of students who will meet the criteria for the upcoming school year.
I appreciate that comment you just made. Thank you.
Sure.
And being that you knew earlier, I know you're saying you're just getting information on how or how it's supposed to be implemented, but as far as the other logistics of it, as far as with the contacting the parents and, you know, things that could have been strategized before now, has any of that been done, or are you starting
So
right now?
you're not able to contact parents until you have the results of the spring SOL. So in terms of knowing that this bill was in play, I've been working to make sure that we had to develop the policy, go through and see what other divisions who already have a similar policy, what they're doing. So the research has already been taking place for the year. But in terms of parent contact, there's no way to do that until you have spring data.
I was not asking if you had contacted parents. I was asking if you did the stuff that you actually just mentioned, meaning had you actually looked at it, started formalizing how you were going to do certain things. And you said,
Absolutely.
I didn't know. That's why I asked.
Absolutely.
Well, I have a comment to that one, because when you say there's no way of letting parents know, there is. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that she said, Ms. Tompkins said she couldn't let parents know because of the test scores. But while these children are in the classrooms and they have one-on-ones with the teachers and everything, these are things that the teachers can mention what's going on in the future. So it's not hitting them like things hit me in my face. That's the issue I have. That right there is so much of a lack of communications that it's ridiculous. When you say a parent cannot know, a parent needs to know. A parent should know. A parent should know the minute that their child walks in that classroom what is going on, what will be going on, or what may be going on. Not a week before, not 2 days before, not an hour before. But I appreciate you, Ms. Tompkins.
Thank you.
Well, I have a question. Good evening, by the way.
Good evening.
And of course, I'm new to this, and so good evening, everyone. My question for you is, I heard you name a couple of roles and titles, which is great. I would like to know, has this already been mentioned to our curriculum and instruction specialist, number one? And number two, have they helped to formulate a plan and a strategy to kind of roll this out?
Well, this has been mentioned with our math specialist, and we have talked about what we will do in terms of our new textbooks, what that will look like, but in terms of staffing, in terms of how we're going to go about where those kids, how we will logistically work those things out, we have not gotten that far yet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Tompkins, before you leave, I had one, I'm so sorry. I had one concern that just popped up into my mind. I'm all for folks getting the advanced or accelerated opportunities. My biggest concern, though, is, as Ms. Boone mentioned earlier, that we put them in a class and then they start falling behind. What support systems are we going to put in place? Because that's going to be a big mess if they get in there and then they just can't keep up with the workload or the instruction. And I would imagine if they're having advanced opportunities, we need folks who are really really good at that core instruction. And then we're really definitely going to need to make sure that we have folks to back up and support that core instruction. So do you have any idea how we might support that, or if there's any type of tutoring that we may offer, or any type of programs that might be able to support that?
Well, we'll certainly offer tutoring for students who are advanced, accelerated, as well as those students who need remediation. As I shared with Ms. Boone, all of the other logistical components that come with this, we have not worked all of those details out. That's really a part of our summer work.
Summer short this year. School starting real soon.
Any other questions?
This
Thank
time
you.
August.
Dr. Carter, I know that this is your report time, but is it possible that I could just ask you a quick question?
Go ahead, sir.
As we're hearing about this advanced math, about the policies or that what we need to do as a school board, are there any other policies that require local boards to adopt or revise anything?
I'm not sure. That's a broad question, sir.
Okay,
Can you
I
be
think
more
there's
specific?
something on like the cell phone restriction, there's student athlete heat illness, and there's also a reading intervention that was also put out by the General Assembly. I was just wondering if we actually have started on those, or, you know, where are we at with those things that are supposed to be implemented, I believe, next school year?
As far as cell phone policy, I haven't heard of any adjustments than the ones we've already have. And what was the next question?
Student athlete heat illness.
I haven't heard of that one never. Not through my superintendent's report from the state.
And no type of implementation for a reading intervention program or something designed to help our students read at a higher pace than they are now.
We already have reading interventions in place, and there's always grants and always opportunities for that to come. So I think we're fully loaded. Ms. Tompkins, you want to elaborate on that?
And I was going to clarify, I think, in regards to the Virginia Literacy Act, how are we doing with following that and making sure teachers are getting the, the module trainings and everything that they're supposed to be getting?
Well,
with
the
it?
teachers have already gone through that training. Everything that we needed to do regarding the approval of the Virginia Literacy Act has already been done. It's on our website. All of our revisions have taken place. Our elementary teachers are going to get training on the June 9th and 10th to further with what is in the Virginia Literacy Act. So we have already implemented those things, and they have been approved by the state.
Dr. Austin.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I am Dr. Austin. I am here to present to you the federal programs for the upcoming school year 2026-2027, and we will start with Title I. Okay. For our 26-27 school year, first let me say that at this time we are not given allocations from the Virginia Department of Education, so we base our budget on last year's allocation. And then in the year, normally before school starts, we'll receive the actual allocation from the state, and then we have to go back in and amend the grant to make the budgets align. So we're working on the allocation from last year, which was $1,062,219.30. So what that has been divided into is we have goals. Our goals for our Title I program are for reading, science, math, social studies. We are looking to improve students' proficiency score by 10 percentage points. And then for pre-K through third grade, we want to decrease any students performing below grade level by 15%. The programs and activities that are sponsored or endorsed in Title I, we have extended learning opportunities. We provide after-school enrichment, Enrichment Fridays, summer school. We also fund Performance Matters that's used to benchmark students to provide assessments to track and monitor student progress. We have joined the Virginia School Consortium for Learning Professional Development for SP Morton Elementary School and Franklin High School. We provide monthly family and parent engagement activities, online programming, Lexia, which is a reading online program, iExcel, which is math, reading, science, and also SOL Pass. SPM implemented a SOL boot camp this year, and we're looking to continue that in the upcoming year. Franklin High School had after-school tutoring, and then looking to send our homeless students experiencing homelessness and McKinney-Vento liaison to the Project Hope State Conference that speaks to the requirements and things pertaining to McKinney-Vento and homeless students. Personnel that is funded by Title I, we have reading, math, science, and social studies instructional specialists. We have parent and family engagement specialists, one at the elementary school and one at the high school. It sponsors the salary for federal programs coordinator at 45%, grants compliance specialist at 20%, and then, of course, personnel for after-school, Enrichment Friday, and summer school staffing. And the purpose of our Title I program is to improve and provide significant learning opportunities for students who may be at risk for failing, to make sure that they just have a fair and equitable educational experience. Okay. Title II is our grant that focuses on supporting effective instruction. This allocation, we're looking at $111,485.77. This is split up, divided into programs, activities, and personnel. And our goals for those for Title II is to have 95% of our teachers licensed and endorsed. We want to have our administration conduct a minimum of 5 observations of new teachers. And then we want to have also 80% of our staff implementing effective Tier 1 instruction using high-quality instructional materials with fidelity. The programs and activities and personnel, Title II funds the I Teach program that provides an alternative method for teachers to receive coursework to be licensed. We have in there a mentor stipend for a person to work with our new teachers, sign-on bonus, talent ed evaluation system, and that is the system that all instructional staff and administrators are evaluated, and it's used to house those documents. It funds also the grants compliance specialist at 21% and the federal programs coordinator salary at 46%. Title II also has partnerships with the VDOE, Camp Community College, University of Phoenix, Liberty University, Old Dominion University, and George Mason University, and all of those are used to help to get our staff licensed, the coursework and things that they need to get licensed. Okay. Title III is our language instruction for our English learners and immigrants. Title III is a small funding source, as you can see, with an allocation of $1,993.20. The goals of our English learner program is that 56% of our English learners make progress on WIDA access assessment, and that 50% of our L families participate in parent and family engagement activities, and also that 50% of our teachers implement English learner strategies in instruction. The programs and activities that are done, we have VDOE professional development for ESL, our ESL teacher, and incorporating that into the general education teachers. Content-based professional development for our ESL teacher and classroom teachers, and then language acquisition program And then L-specific parent and family engagement sessions. Personnel, we held a parent and family engagement session, and in that session, our ESL teacher, since it was after hours, she provided the interpretation for our families that we have. We have, all of our students have Spanish as a second language or as their home language. We have one who is French, but the parent has opted out of interpretation services. Title IV, Part B, this is the Student Support and Academic Enrichment Grant. With this, our allocation is $73,123.89. This particular grant is divided up into categories. It has a well-rounded education category, safe and healthy students category, and effective use of technology. In our well-rounded education, our goals are to increase student proficiency in math, reading, science, and social studies by 10%, and that our gifted students achieving past advance will increase by 50%. In that category, we fund a partial position of the accreditation specialist, and that person works with school administrative teams. They monitor implementation of strategies that are outlined in our school improvement plans and student data. In our safe and healthy students category, our goals are to decrease safety concern behaviors by 15% and to reduce chronic absenteeism to 25% at the elementary and 15% for the high school. And actually, that goal should be decrease it for the elementary school to 10%, and then the 10% for the high school, because chronic absenteeism really decreased this year. So our numbers are going down, and that's a good thing. So that number should be 10% for both schools. With this category, we partially fund the student support monitor position. This person works with the school-based teams. They help them develop attendance plans and monitor the implementation of strategies, and then discusses the impacts of those strategies at standing student services meetings. Under effective use of technology, this is a category where the main goal is to provide professional development in teachers implementing technology resources in the classroom. In this category, we provide professional developments on the effective use of the Promethean boards that are in the classrooms. We send our technology facilitator to the VISTI Instructional Technology Conference. She comes back and works with the teachers in various professional development sessions in implementing those in the different content areas. It also funds partially our grants compliance specialists. And finally, Title V. This is our Rural and Low-Income School Program grant. This is one of the grants that can go away at any time, so I just wanted to say that. All of the other ones can be maintained, but Title V is prone to, it can be here today and be gone tomorrow. The allocation that we received in that was $34,556.21. Our goals under Title V, and this is also like the catch-all grant that we use. It has a lot of flexibility in the ways that we can use it. Our goal in this grant is, again, to increase student proficiency in math, reading, science, and social studies by 10%, to increase the number of past advanced scores of gifted students by 50%, and to develop individualized plan of studies for all students planning to attend college. So the programs and activities, we're using Zello for student plans. Zello is not funded in this grant, but it's funded out of another grant, but we use that for the student plans. We also support students at risk of not graduating on time. Support is also provided to teachers and students to enhance instruction and assignments. And in Title V, we do fund a gifted specialist at 20%, and a graduation coach is partially funded there as well. And of course, our grants compliance specialist receives 1% of her salary out of Title V. And at this time, if there are any questions, I will entertain those.
Dr. Alston,
Yes.
for Title V, the one that can literally disappear at any moment, where do we stand if that grant is pulled for whatever reason? Do we still lose the ability to offer the programs and the services that we have? Or do we lose that completely, or can we still maintain even if we lose that grant?
We would still
funding?
be able to maintain. The positions, Title V has very few positions, and like the grants compliance specialist is funded at 1%. The gifted specialist at 2%, and the graduation coach is also a small funding source because we only have 34,000. So the division would be able to absorb those costs. Those positions are also gifted specialists. We already have a gifted specialist that is funded from local funding as well. So this is a separate gifted specialist. So those positions would be able to be absorbed. And most of the things that are done, like I said, Zello, that is funded out of another grant, but it is used to help us meet the goals for Title V.
I have a question.
Yes.
And I understand that this is the allotment, allocations for 25, 26.
Yes.
Right? And we have not, there has not been no release for the 26, 27. But with that being said, have we minus the students that we lost to homeschooling, that money? Where, do you understand? We have, Dr. Carter, maybe you can help me on this one, because we lost over 80-something students to homes or relocations or unfortunately being homeless. The estimate on top for 2025, well, 26 is the one we're going off of, estimated level. Did we minus that? Because next year is going to be way lower than that because the ADM is lower. That's what I mean.
Right.
We lost a lot of ADM this year.
So the title funding is done at the state level.
Okay.
And giving the funding out. It's not necessarily based on an ADM.
Okay.
They base it on the amount of money that they get, and then they look at the percentage of need in the different areas, and they kind of go by that number. And what happens is they recalculate based on how much money they receive from the federal government, and then they allocate it to the various divisions based on that. And so most of the time, even though this is kind of an estimate, normally we have not been decreased from the allocation that we had the year before. If we had, I think in one grant, I'm not sure which one it was, but it was something like $20 or something like that, that we would be decreased, but nothing extreme that would keep us from carrying out the.
So the federal funding supports solely the ADM. Am I getting that right?
It doesn't really affect the grants.
Yes.
Okay,
It just
Okay.
it affects our general fund.
Right.
okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you for your time. Have a great evening.
You do the same.
That's all I have, Madam Chair.
Well, I have a question for you, Dr. Carter. My question is that next year in SP Morton, and I'm asking this, to my understandings, there are no longer going to be 4 classrooms of however it is. There's going to be 3, which makes the classrooms larger, and we have a floating teacher's assistants. With 3 teachers teaching 3 teachers teaching 4th grade, 3 teachers teaching 5th grade, 3 teachers teaching 6th grade. Are we going to have TAs in each of those classrooms, or is that one TA going to float? Because, and I'm asking that because I was bombarded with teachers a couple of days ago letting me know that they're losing a classroom, which means that the kids that are coming out of that classroom is getting split into 3 classrooms, and there's no guarantee that they're going to have a TA in that classroom to assist them. So is that true or not true?
We are looking at possible some reduction in force because our student enrollment did drop, and so we have to close that funding gap. So the answer is, I don't know yet.
Okay.
I don't know yet, but I will have more of a definite answer for you by June 18th when you come back, because we've got to have those discussions. And so it all hasn't been worked out, Ms. Boone, but for those staff members that are retiring or moving on, we are looking at consolidating. So we'll come back with more of a plan and answer that question for you on June 18th. It hasn't been worked out yet.
Okay.
I have a question. You've been bombarded with that. I've been bombarded with the bonuses, and I apologize, I was under the weather, so I might have missed something that was said here or that went out. Many teachers, other board members, have y'all been bombarded with that question about the bonuses? Emails, calls, a lot of the teachers are saying other divisions have gotten notified when they're gonna do the bonuses and the structure of it, because I understand each locality is different. And John, I'm not a teacher or in school, so I don't know. Have our teachers been notified about the bonus that other divisions are getting? And more than the teachers, isn't it, cafeteria staff, bus drivers? Have I missed that part, and have the teachers been notified?
No, they have not been notified. They're going to get an email quite soon, but we are scheduling for June 30th to release retention bonuses. And so we're giving the staff till June 5th to sign their contracts. So we know tomorrow, so we will know who is returning, so we'll know who to give the bonus to.
So if they don't return, they do not get the bonus. It is gonna be used as retention this year.
Yes, ma'am, it will be used as a retention bonus.
I just want to make sure I have clarification too, Dr. Carter. If they sign their contract by tomorrow, and then they back out of their contract by June the 30th, because that's typically the deadline for our region, they still will not get their bonus, correct? I just want to make sure I understand.
That is correct.
I have another question. What if it's a teacher or someone who does qualify for the bonus, but they're not leaving to go to a lateral position, they're leaving because they're going higher in their career, something all of us want to do. It's actually a promotional position. Will they not get the bonus either?
That's a good question. We have not discussed that. So we haven't had anyone yet that has moved on for a promotion. So if there is a promotion, we will consider that. We will consider that, Ms. Bailey. I haven't,
Like they're a teacher or they're
and they got moved up to assistant principal.
somewhere else.
Yeah. So if it's a greater opportunity, we will not hold that against them.
Thank you, Dr.
Any other questions, discussions? The consent agenda?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the minutes for May 7th, 2026.
I'll second it.
With a motion and a second, discussion? Mr. Osborne?
Yay.
Mr. Grant?
Yay.
Wait, sorry, were we all here? That's why I was asking. I'm sorry. Mr. Grant?
Yay.
Ms. Parker?
Yay.
Ms. Bailey?
Yeah.
Mr. Holt?
Yes.
Ms. Boone? Abstain. Mr. Cofield?
Abstain.
Thank you. Motion passes? Okay. 3.2, School Board Regular Meeting Minutes for May 21st, 2026, were first reading. We'll follow that up with our next meeting. 3.3, Title I application, first reading. That would also be followed up on our next meeting. 3.4, Title II application, first reading, will also be followed up on our next meeting. 3.5, Title III application was also the first reading. That will be continued on our next meeting. Title IV application, first reading, that will continue on our next board meeting. Title V application, first reading, that will also continue on our next board meeting. Next in line is the closed session.
Before we go into closed session,
Yes.
I do have another question, Dr. Carter. I'm looking at retention and teachers wanting to come, and I know you have every right to use it as a retention bonus, but could we kind of do something different? Could you even consider it? Because you have teachers who work all year really hard, and they may be leaving, they may not be going to be a teacher to an assistant principal, but they may be leaving because they're getting an extra $10,000 or $13,000. They may be leaving because maybe their spouse, it could be at the house, anything. And they work all year. So is there a way to figure out how we can still give them part of the bonus, do something a little different? Because that might even help in the future. You know what I'm saying? Getting teachers on and come. It help. They can see, hold on, this locality is doing this a little bit differently. It may be encouragement. And you don't have to exactly answer that. I'm just asking you, could you consider some way to work with that? To make us more approachable and build morale with the teachers and other staff, kitchen staff, bus drivers. Just take a different approach at looking at that bonus.
Okay.
So that's just more of a comment than a question. Thank you.
In accordance with 2.2-3711 of the Code of Virginia, I move that the Franklin City School Board enter into a closed session to discuss and evaluate matters related to new hires, demotions, resignations, termination, and non-resident students pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711 Alpha 1 and 2.
I second.
With a motion and a second, any discussion? Mr. Osbrook?
Yes.
Mr. Grant?
Yes.
Ms. Parker?
Aye.
Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Ms. Boone? Aye. Mr. Holt?
Aye.
Mr. Cofield?
Ah.
We are now in closed session. The closed session has concluded. We are now returning to open session. I would like to entertain a motion to come out of closed session.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussions? Osbrook?
Yes.
Grant?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Boone, yes. Holt?
Yes.
Cofield?
Aye.
Certification by the school board?
Whereas the Franklin City School Board has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas Section 2.2-3712 point delta of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by this school board that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law, and now therefore be it resolved that the Franklin City School Board hereby certifies that, to the best of each member's knowledge, one, only public business matters lawfully exempted by Virginia law were discussed in a closed meeting to which this certification applies, and two, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convened in the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered.
A second. I second.
So with the motion and the second, any discussion? Mr. Osbrook?
Aye.
Grant?
Aye.
Parker?
Aye.
Bailey? Boone, aye. Holt?
Aye.
Cofield?
Aye.
Madam Chair, I have two motions from closed session. The first is to approve the personnel agenda as presented, less item number 4.
I second.
With that motion and that second, do we have a discussion? Osbrook?
Aye.
Grant?
Aye.
Parker?
Aye.
Bailey? Aye. Boone, aye. Holt?
Aye.
Holt?
Aye.
Cofield, sorry.
You fine.
And your second?
The second motion is to approve the non-resident student application as presented.
I'll second that.
With a motion and a second, do we have a discussion? Cofield? Vote.
Aye.
Holt?
Aye.
Bailey? Aye. Parker?
Aye.
Grant?
Aye.
Osbrook?
Aye.
Boone, aye.
The item that was added by amended agenda earlier, I'll go ahead and make the motion formally so we can vote on it. I move that the Franklin City School Board direct the school board's attorney to conduct an administrative review of the division's compliance with mandatory reporting obligations under applicable law and board policy, including whether and when the division employees, administrators, or leadership had knowledge of concerns related to such obligations and what actions, if any, they took in response, with the authority to request cooperation from the division staff as needed and to report their findings and recommendations to the school board.
I second.
With that motion and that second, do we have a discussion? Mr. Osbrook?
Aye.
Grant?
Aye.
Parker?
Nay.
Bailey?
Aye.
Boone, aye. To get it over with. Holt?
Nay.
Cofield?
Aye.
It passes.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. School board presentation, comments, announcements. Do we have any? 6.1.
I thought the dedication of the greenhouse at the high school yesterday was phenomenal. It was a cooperative effort with Virginia State University. They had several faculty there. They had the dean of the School of Agriculture there. They had quite a complex. Congratulations on that.
It was nice. Any other comments?
I would like to echo those sentiments because I did get the opportunity to attend the greenhouse grand opening, and I'm going to give a kudos to the curriculum specialist who was the forerunner for that particular project. It was absolutely amazing, exceptional. Our students were included. And just a big shout out to our students who will be graduating from the illustrious Franklin High School on tomorrow. We're really excited for what our students have accomplished, and we look forward to celebrating them. And once again, I wanted to shout out our city council for allowing me this appointment and this opportunity to serve on the school board. I hope to make the community proud, but most of all, make myself proud, because I want to hold true to my integrity and making sure that I apply all integrity to this role in this position. Thank you.
Comment, Ms. Boone.
Yes, sir.
On behalf of myself, I want to go ahead and send my best regards and well wishes to the graduates who will be graduating on Friday. I am so very, very proud of you. This community is proud of you. I want you to know and be proud that you are a product of the Franklin City Public School System and this community. And what you will do in this future of yours will be bright, and you will make a change. And I hope that you will come back and support and give back to this community tenfold. And I wish you all the best in everything that you do.
Thank you. Any other discussions?
I move that we adjourn.
We got the motion, the second. Any discussion? Mr. Osbrook?
Aye.
Grant? Aye. Parker?
Aye.
Bailey? Boone, aye. Hope?
Aye.
Hopefield? Let's go. Meeting adjourned.